Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Sunha.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are giving you our first impressions of Messina 1347.
This is the newest game from Delicious Game and from designers Vladimir Suhi and Raul Aparicio.
It plays 1 to 4 players in about 60 to 140 minutes.
Those are all correct things. If we said the names wrong, we did try at least, so sorry about that. So Delicious Games came out 2 years ago with their first game because Vladimir Suhi wanted to have like his own publishing company. I'm pretty sure it's him and his wife doing this small publishing company. They had Underwater Cities, which we really enjoyed.
Yes.
And last year they had Project Petrania, which we also really enjoyed.
Absolutely.
And now they have Messina 1347. That we're going to tell you if we really enjoyed and how many party poppers it will get.
Yes, that is our new system for rating first impressions.
Yes, that is true. So first, like, a little bit of info. We played only 2 players.
Yes.
We have played the game 2 times, so that's why it's a first impression. So only 2 players and 2 times. And the time it took to play the game was really good.
Yeah.
It took like 1 hour and 15 minutes, and the other time was 1 hour and 12 minutes, so like 75 minutes. For a game like this, for 2 players, is really good.
Yeah, this is like the box is right. So we're happy with that playtime.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is so much shorter than this other game. And we know Underwater Cities is long, and especially if you play with more than 2.
Yes.
But I checked the times that we spent playing, Project Petrania, and that was kind of in the same wheelhouse. Like 1 hour and 35 minutes with 3 players, and 1 hour 50 minutes with 2 players, which is the same kind of thing. I felt like this was going quicker, but it might not have done it. So before we dive into anything more, let's do a short overview about what you do in the game.
Yes.
So in this game you are in Messina, and the year is 1347. You might have guessed that from the name of the game. And the plague is coming. It's the Black Death, I think it's called that in English.
Black Plague.
Black Plague, yeah, it's called the Black Death in Norwegian. It sounds more like Norwegian death metal, and it's like, oh, it's a Black Death. Yeah, but it's the plague coming in from the ships with the rats trying to be horrible towards people. So you have your own little estate where you're trying to rescue the citizens in the city, get them to work in your estate if they are in a quarantine, which feels like we are in now. Like if this kind of felt kind of weird playing a game where you put people into quarantine. Yeah. But I was happy it was called 1347, not 2020, because that would be really weird playing. So what you're doing basically, and really quick overview guys. It is a worker placement and later a worker movement game. So you're going to have a grid of different hexes. In the first round, you're going to place your overseers, not your overseers, your lieutenants on different action tiles. So when you place it on an action, you will then get to rescue the citizen or citizens that are on the tile. If it is a plague tile there, you have to put them in quarantine, or else you can put them right into your estate to work for you. Then you will be able to fight the plague by using fire, burning it all up, getting it out of the way, which will let you move on tracks, because there's a lot of tracks in this game. If you hate tracks, this might not be the game for you. And after that, you get to do the action that is on the tile that you chose, or you can also later in the game repopulate Messina by then sending people working for you back into the city to basically score endgame victory points. What you're trying to do is to get wood, get money, get fire tokens, and then spend them to get buildings that you can produce things at the end of the round. You use the fire, as I said, to fight the plague, and you spend all of that, the money, to either later move your meeples, because when in the next round you're going to have to start where you are with your lieutenants and you have to move them away to other spaces. So there's kind of like an interesting spatial puzzle there as well. So that's kind of like a brief overview. Did I miss something?
No,
my brain is kind of mushy from the count crud, so I'm like kind of mushy doing these videos, but we just wanted to get it out there after we have played the game.
Yes, absolutely, but no, nothing major that you missed.
Anything minor?
Very minor. You can also buy boats.
Yes, and there's other really minor things also that I missed. So this game is all about, I feel like this game is all about combos.
Oh yeah.
Because you have very few actions in the game if you're not like you and you get to unlock your two lieutenants like super early in the game, and I get to do 3 actions and you get to do 5 for the rest of the game.
Yes, because
guess who won with over 50 points more than me? It was not me. I did not win over myself.
That's true. But I feel like these combos that you're talking about are very important, because on your turn you're doing very little.
Yes.
Like the meeple that you actually set on the space, and that action in itself feels like very little to do.
Yes.
We were like, it's 6 rounds, so in round 4 we're always like wait, what? Have
What
we
happened?
skipped around or
Have you
something?
done anything?
Like what? And it feels very like this kind of, not an engine builder, but you're building, like you do very few things in the beginning, and then like this one guy that you rescue that can suddenly trigger like this cascading effect because you move up on some tracks and then you get some more bonuses, so then you get to do more on your round suddenly.
It is one of those games, like the second time we played it, and I played it again right after. And this is one of those games, like for example, I know when I play Caverna, every time I play that at the beginning of the game, like I'm not going to get anything done. And then at the end of the game, I'm like, oh, I got to do a lot. And that's kind of how this game feels, even though it's like super tight on resources and never have enough of what you want to do. But like the super important thing here is all the tracks. You have 3 tracks on the like scoreboard where you move up from different symbols, and one of them you move up the popularity track, you move up and you destroy the different play cubes, and when you move up to specific spaces they will trigger a bonus. And some of those bonuses might be moving on tracks on your own board, because on your own board you have, like, you're going to see a picture of it right now, it looks like this. You have 3 quarters with space for different kind of citizens, and you have 3 of these overseers that move around, and when you move the overseer you get to trigger those bonuses, and those bonuses then might be you trigger a track, move on the track, and that moving on the track makes you then move another overseer to trigger another thing, and that gives you coins, and then you have another one where you can build a building, so you build that building and now you can produce stuff for the next rounds.
Well, usually one action doesn't cascade to all of that madness.
But it could if you're like really good.
But it could. But yeah, usually like if I'm having a really good round, then I will, for example, do my core action, then trigger one of those overseers and then go up on a track, for example.
Yeah, so the worker placement here feels kind of like when you the game we played last year, Dwellings of Eldervale. Where you have this, and it also evolves and changes. Like here as well, it gets to be more spaces on it, and you then move the beginning. You place it out, and then you're going to move it around.
Yes.
It's not like the same, but that was something I felt. And similar to the game kind of ends there, but it's kind of like a worker placement, and then you move the workers around to do the actions. I thought about the game while I played it.
Oh yeah, I really like the way that you choose your actions and move your workers around the board. One thing is the actions that you can do, but the other thing is, okay, then I move in this direction, and then that might like dictate how I play my next turn. And if I want to move further away, I have to spend money, and resources are tight, so I don't want to spend more than I have to. And also what kind of people are in that city space is also very important, because
and is there plague there, because you really do not get the rats.
And also if you're standing if you were standing nearby, I will feel like, oh, maybe you will do that next turn, then I have to hurry up and get that space, and that was very interesting as well.
So it doesn't really feel like a worker placement game after the first round, because you have that spatial thing where I was really horrible at that last time I played. I placed all my people like in one corner of the board. The board is not very big with 2 players, but it gets bigger, like you place a new tile each round. And then it was really hard for me to get to the other part, so you almost had that to yourself, because it was going to cost me 2 or 3 coins to go there, and that's a lot of coins when you also need coins for all the other things. And that game I also scored points for coins, so I didn't want to like use all of my coins.
Yeah, that is another thing. Like the endgame scorings are pushing you to play a little differently. Yeah. The first time I played, I had very little wood. I struggled really to build the buildings that I wanted to build because I had so little wood resources. But then the last time we played, I had like 7, 8, 9, 10 wood. Suddenly, I scored for wood at the end of the game, so I worked towards it. But those 2 games felt very differently.
Yeah, the first time we played with a basic game where everybody has the same board, the same quarters, or the same actions, and the same scrolls, which is basically a build your own scoring mechanism. And the second time we played with like the advanced, where there are 4 different player boards, and there are also 4 different scrolls, which you can mix and match, so it ends up being different the ways you play it.
Yes, I agree. So it's not like, I like the semi build your own scoring, because you can't like decide, oh, now I'm going to get points for money.
No, that's
you can't
true.
do that if you don't have that board. But for example, there's 3 tracks you can choose from. So for example, I see that, oh, no, not gonna do this, then I will focus on the 2 other things, for example.
Yeah, because there's 3 different endgame scorings that you kind of can build up how good they are for you. Yeah. And you can do it like me, building a super big on one of them and not scoring a single point. That's like a non-strategy tips for you, but you know how I play. I'm really good at board games. Yeah. I lost by over 50 points the last time we played. So there's really a lot of things to like here. Like I enjoy the worker movement of the placing or moving it around on the tiles. I like the tracks, the combos feels really good. Like it feels like this is one of those games where you have very few things to do and you need to get those extra actions, need to get those extra, and the production where you get those resources, because going to a space that only gives you like a wood and a coin feels really horrible.
Yes.
If you could then have a building that produces that for you and maybe produces some points as well, it feels so good. But then you want to use those other people as well, and it's hard to get to know more people out. And you can also then have the quarantine huts, which also produce things for you, but then you have to take the people that are less valuable or are going to be in quarantine and then they're going to move. They're going to spend two turns, basically 2 rounds in the quarantine hut, and then they're going to come and work for you in your estate. So the balance of how many people to get, how many of each of them to get, where they are, if you can get them, and then to place them on the different quarters, and then move the overseers or the triggers, the ones you want to trigger, to get the specific combos. And every time you're like, oh, I'm going to do that because that's a good one, and then, oh no, I didn't really need that one, but I can't move it now, so you get another one out there before I move it. And the timing of all of that to get those combos just feels fantastic to do.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't, like, for me, it doesn't feel like super tight, but it's tight enough that I really have to like crunch a little bit over every decision. But I feel like, for example, the people, there's quite a lot of people on the board.
Yes.
It's like I have some options to pick and choose from. I'm very, very seldom in this game I'm thinking like, if you go there, that's my plan.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't have any of those moments, but I think like that's a very like I like the like thinkiness of this game. I also think that this is a game that you can take many paths to success, both like which tracks you're going to go on, also if you're going to focus on workforce or just like placing them buildings, or if you're going to repopulate Messina at the end of the game and score points for them, or if you want to do that early, that is also an option. So I think like there is many ways to do things. I also think you can actually ignore that whole get rid of the plague thing like entirely, because you get a lot of negative points for that, but that might actually just like
I don't think you could like, because
but there's a roof.
It gets to
like,
a point where
maximum.
That's 21 points.
Yeah.
And in a game where I got like 70 points, 21 points is a lot.
I would have won with that.
That is true, but that is something else. That's because I played horribly. Even though it's my birthday, I can't win the game.
But I can see like many viable options here.
Absolutely.
I don't think like the rats are so negative to get that you should like never have one of them.
A few of them you can have.
Yeah, you can have that, and it's like if you get 5 or more, you're starting to like feel like, oh, this is a lot. But like it's very interesting also at the end that you get it's harder to get rid of the plague because you need more fire to do it, but then you also get more points for it. So it's a good game.
Is there anything you do not like from our first 2 games? Is there anything you say like, oh, I don't like this or I don't like this, which makes sense because I asked, is there anything you don't like? Don't have to explain what that means.
No, I like it.
Yeah, I'm not trying, because this is a first person, not like a full review where we try to look at everything, and I'm trying to find that there's really nothing I do not like, and there really isn't anything is there anything that you like are meh about? Is there any like mechanism, anything you feel like a mechanism? Oh, I like that. Let's talk about the mechanisms.
I don't know, like I didn't feel like I don't think it's a goal that everything in a game should excite me very much.
No.
Because if it feels balanced...
Oh, I got a fire token!
Yeah, you know. And like, I just like think that it all harmonizes well together. The only thing that I feel when I play it is that I never do enough.
Yeah.
Like, all my turns, especially in the beginning, feel so short, and I feel like I get so little out of them, but at the same time, that's how the game is supposed to be. So it's not really a complaint. And I really like that feeling of building up towards the end. Like in the beginning, you do these quick actions, and then like you get to do bigger actions because you get a lot of stuff.
I think also that the game is in the medium plus range. Like Boon Lake, like we played it, is heavier than this. Like this is more of This is more like it's a medium plus. But I feel that's good. And one thing I want to say, like we really like, I don't want to say this, but it is like a big long game.
Yes.
It's a lot, like a very heavy. Prata Regni, very good.
Yes.
I like it a lot. This is the smoothest game I played from Vladimir Suchi.
Oh, this is smoother.
Sorry, yeah, it's so smooth. Like every turn, there is some AP from time to time, but not a lot because it's. I'm here. I only have a goal or two. I can't move all the way over there.
Yeah.
These are the options I have. Probably half of them are not going to be interesting to me.
Yes.
But I want to do this. But I also really want to move up on that track this round. Can I do that if I do that? Do that. And I really like the smoothness of it. As I said, we played it in 1 hour and 15 minutes, and we are usually slow players.
Oh yeah, we are.
So if you are quick players, I think you can play it in under an hour with 2 players.
Yeah.
And I think the 2-player game was fantastic.
Yeah.
And also since the game is that short, I don't think adding a 3rd or 4th player is going to add to make the game too long.
No, and I'm really excited to see how the map feels with more players because it scales, like the city's size changes from different player counts.
Yes.
But then I will have less control over what actions get taken like between my turns, because now I know that okay, you either gonna do that or that. I don't want you to do this, but if you do that, I will do this.
Yeah.
And I can like have more control of what you're doing, kind of. So I'm eager to see if there's any difference there.
Yeah, but it's also going to be like a bigger map, so the way you place your meeples is going to be more important because you don't want to spend all that gold to just move them around.
Yes.
So I think we're going to end up now going into the final first impressions.
Yes.
Do you want to begin?
Yeah, I thought it was fun. Like I don't know, is it a fun cannon? I think it is. I think it is.
So it's like a small fun cannon?
Yeah.
Is it between
It's not like the biggest fun cannon that you'll ever find, but I think it's like 5 party poppers and a little fun cannon like on the side.
On the side. So you have like a small cannon, and when you light it, and out comes 5 party poppers. That's kind of like the rating you're giving it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anything you want to add, like to the final thoughts? Final first impressions.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a very smooth game, as you said, and I just had a lot of fun while playing it. I had something more but I was going to say, but I've forgotten it. So you go.
If you remember, you will do it.
And I will remember soon.
I love this game. This is the game. Like Boon Lake for me was fantastic, and I had so much fun playing it. But this gave me that it's a bit heavier, so it's harder to get that like I get this do. This game really gave me the feeling of feeling so good when you got that combo, and every action you did was important, even though we said like it's not that tight, but it is very tight on most of the things like the resources, and everything feels fantastic. It's so hard for me to find things to say negative about this game, because for my brain and the games I like, this is where it's at. Like this is a medium plus Euro game in 1 hour and 15 minutes with 2 players. It's the same time we spent playing Grand Ulster Hotel, which is another one of our favorite like medium style Euro games. I love it. I think this is an amazing game. I am looking forward to play it more. We're hopefully going to play a 4-player game next weekend. It is a blast to play. I cannot wait to play it again. It is a fun cannon for me. Obvious fun. Like there's so many party poppers inside. It's almost bursting at its seams. I loved it. It was so much fun.
Oh, nice.
And that... Did you remember what you want to say?
No, it was something about AP, but
you got some AP about thinking about it.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe I'll comment it if I remember.
And that is then the end of these first impressions. We hope it helped you out. If you have any questions about the game or anything, let us know in the comments. If you are new to our channel and you have not subscribed yet, please do so now by
clicking the subscribe button.
It's free and it makes us happy, and it helps us a lot. And that's the end.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.